Howdy y'all, Fuzzy Biker here, and welcome to Throwback Thursday. We're at Baxter Cycle today. We're in the magic back room, and look at that. Anyway, what we're here to look at today is something unusual for y'all, for this channel, but something that's kind of near and dear to my heart. This is a Honda 350 CL350 from 1972, and this is the kind of motorcycle that I kind of cut my teeth on, this style of motorcycle. I never had an actual 350. My older brother had one just like this one. I think he had the CB model, the lower pipe model. But this was ubiquitous to my era. I you know, spent a lot of time with these kind of things. Took them apart, put them back together, broke them. My friends had them. My good friend Chuck had a couple of them. And I rode quite a bit of motorcycle like this. And so it's kind of a nostalgia thing for me. But so what is it? Well, I think it's about a 325 or 335 cc single overhead cam, it looks like. 2-cylinder engine, air cooled of course, dual carbureted, kick start, and it might be electric start. I don't know about that. Let's look for a starter. Yep, right there. So I would say it is electric start. This is the kind of the scrambler model, the CL was, and so you've got that really nifty pipe on the left side of the motorcycle. And they had different options for the end depending on the year, but really cool, isn't it? When I was young, the pipes were always trashed. I could fall over. Anyway, things like that. So it's got the bench seat. It's got about a 2.5 gallon gas tank. I think the wheelbase on these were about, I want to say I read 52 inches, and I don't know what that is in millimeters. The weight on this is supposed to be something like 350 pounds. So, you know, 33, 32, 34 horsepower, somewhere in there. 350 pounds. It's pretty good, isn't it? A good power to weight ratio for its time in particular. You know, nice nimble wheelbase at 52 inches. But so what's the reality of that? I remember riding these, and I remember thinking they handled terribly and they vibrated a lot. And I think they did. I think you know, in their time they were great bikes, but it's got, you know, it's got a 9.5 RPM red line. You know, that's kind of a neat dash. But I'm kind of starting off giving this thing a bad name. Let's back up a little bit. In its time, I think these are $700 or $900 new. So they were affordable. They were Japanese. They were. It's a Honda, so it's probably reliable. Everybody bought them. They were, like I said, when I was growing up, they were everywhere. My good friend Chuck had a couple of them. My older brother, like I said, had one. Just, you know, I put some miles on these things. I remember, like I said, riding it and thinking it was, you know, it was like sitting on a sawhorse, and the handling was not what I would call crisp, even though I did say it was got a short wheelbase. But oh, anyway, so let's just look at it as what it is. Like drum brakes, you know, the rear drum brake, the front drum brake. I was looking at this earlier. Leading shoe, a twin leading shoe. You know, that's nifty, isn't it? Speedo drive right there is my guess. Let's see if I'm right about that. Yep, I am. Metal fenders, of course, you know, covers on the boots, which is a scrambler, so it should probably have that. Just a really neat old bike, really. I like it. Let's look at the switch gear real quick. The left and right blinkers, the classic paint in the rear Honda blinkers. I'm guessing that's the horn right there. The clutch, of course. Over here we have a kill switch. Either way is, center is on. Either way is off. There, you know. High lows for the lights, off, low, high. Back in the day you had headlights were not required. Probably the start button right there. Over here, you know, speedo, Nippon, and then the tack on the right. Trip meter right here with a manual gauge right there, manual adjuster right there. Normal hydraulic front tubes. You know, spoke tubed wheels, of course. Everything had tubes back in the day. Center stand was always stock. Back in the day, they always had a center stand. 5-speed transmission, by the way. 5-speed transmission. I think this was here to let you know if your high beams were on, maybe. I could be wrong about that. One of these is a blinker light. One of them is probably an oil light and maybe a, you know, I don't know. Let's see if there's a key on this bike. I don't see it. But anyway, quite a neat looking motorcycle, isn't it? Some of the first motorcycles I rode were like this. And like I said, we grew up with these things, and they broke for us, and we tore them apart, and we had the cases tore off, and we kind of learned how to do our thing on these motorcycles. This was a tooth cutting bike for us. How to we did it all with these things. We had when I look at a motorcycle like this, I see something that I've had my hands, my fingers deep in the oil. It's really quite a motorcycle to my eye. Just check that out. This is the origins of the modern bike, really. I don't know if I said it already, but the riding characteristics of this, the shorter wheelbase, but the riding characteristics were, they vibrated a lot, and I said it, I think earlier, the seat, you felt like you're sitting on a 2x4 sawhorse or something, but a lot of nostalgia for me. I feel like I'm bad-mouthing the motorcycle, but the reality is I spent a lot of time with these, and I really did enjoy them. I learned a lot from them. So I have a lot of good memories with these things, even though I'm not speaking of it glowingly, right? This is, by the 80s, there was a lot of difference between this and a bike from the 80s. For instance, I had a 80 Yamaha 400, a lot different, a lot more modern, a lot smoother than one of these would have been. Just a lot overall, very different motorcycle. But so for its era, this was really quite a bike. Here's the tag for it, by the way. 72 Honda CL 350, and then the price. The CL meant it was a scrambler model. I think I said that already. But isn't that just a gorgeous thing? I wonder if that's the original paint. I don't know the answer to that. Just a beautiful, oh, there's the key. Let's see what happens here. Nothing happens. Maybe the battery's out of it. Let's leave that in the off position. And we did. Okay. Quite a motorcycle. Normal adjusters on the rack, on the back, twin shocks. Like I said, I already pointed out the rear drum brake. Back then all these bikes had a kickstart, even though this one does have electric. Quite a motorcycle, quite a motorcycle. Since I'm showing you motorcycles I drove for my youth, we're going to walk over here right quick. Second motorcycle I ever rode in my life. CB 100. First motorcycle I rode was a CB 125, which I had to hotwire. And the second one I rode was that exact kind of bike, CB 100, and it was white. And I had to hotwire that one too. A friend of my dad's, my dad had the 125 CB, and my dad's friend had a CB 100. And I asked him if I could ride it, if I could get it started, could I ride it? He said, sure. Well, I got it running. So anyway, back to our target bike here. Isn't that just a gorgeous machine? If you all are interested in anything like this, or anything like these, just a whole room full of beautiful British motorcycles here, or a couple of Japanese ones here, but give these people at Baxter Cycle a call. Ask for Randy or Jeremy or Amanda if you're foreign. Amanda has foreign sales. And by the way, they have parts. These rooms back behind these walls are just nothing but parts, and also they have buildings full of parts. So if you need anything like that at all, give these guys a call. Like I said, Baxter Cycle, baxtercycle.com. All right, y'all have a great day. Wahoo!